All right, everyone, it's very funny to see the left-wing media actually attacking Bernie Sanders right now. The Huffington Post and the Daily Beast and some of these groups are actively trying to destroy Bernie Sanders' credibility, and I think I know what's happening. They're looking back at the last election and saying, damn, the DNC had to stop Sanders so that they could coronate their neoliberal corporate candidate. It looked bad. But maybe if we just Me Too him, and the DNC itself doesn't have to do or say anything, the Democrats can circle the wagons and he'll still get knocked out. We just let this sexual harassment scandal, so-called, envelop him, and then he gets knocked off. Like, there's no way he'll run. The Bernie bro sort of people, at least most of them, any of the younger females, they won't want Bernie Sanders anymore. They'll vote for whoever we tell them to. This is an attempt by the Democratic Party to use subterfuge in order to destroy an inconvenient progressive. Absolutely guaranteed. We've seen, look at some of the Clinton emails that were released in the DNC emails. Some of these groups take marching orders from the neoliberals, including those that pretend to be progressive outlets like Huffington Post. They take their orders from the neoliberals because that's where the money is. Of course they're going to go, there's probably an email out there, a chain email that they sent, well, not chain email, but a mass email they sent to HuffPost, Daily Beast, MSNBC, some of these groups. Everybody said, hey guys, here's a scandal. Yes, you should cover it. Basically throw them under the bus. Bet anything that that's the case. I'd bet a fucking top dollar that that's exactly what happened. Here's what ended up happening. Bernie Sanders himself has not been implicated in harassing anyone. Some of his staff apparently did. There were instances in which especially male coordinators had harassed women or turned a blind eye to harassment going on. If you think in a million years this was more substantially rife in the Sanders campaign than others, or that it's limited to the Sanders campaign, you are absolutely, you've totally gobbled down the blue pill of the Democratic Party. What they're trying to intone is, hey, the Republicans and Bernie and all them, they're all sexist. You should vote for whoever we nominate, which, by the way, we really, really want it to be like Gillibrand or Harris or Warren or somebody like that, because, female person, but glass ceiling, we're going to keep talking about that issue. The opposite is probably true. There's probably more weird perversion going on in a neoliberal campaign, because all that corporate money comes in and you get all these sleazeballs, especially in the entertainment industry. Bernie didn't really have that. Now, I've said many things about Sanders, but do I think that he's sexist? No, of course I fucking don't think he's sexist. Exactly the opposite. He's a socialist. He's economically way, way out there. He's a numbskull when it comes to strategy. He doesn't understand much about foreign policy either. But that doesn't make him a sexist. That is an attempt at propaganda by the DNC. Absolutely guaranteed. I can guarantee there'll probably be a leak at some point in the coming years where you'll find an email. So, Guccifer 5.0 will leak a trove of DNC documents, and one of them will be an email from Tom Perez talking to the Huffington Posts and the Daily Beast of the world saying, hey, we need to throw Bernie under the bus. This is terrible. Oh my God, he's going to get enveloped in scandal. We have to throw him away. The real reason, though, won't be because of that. The real reason will be because they're afraid of him. They are terrified that Bernie Sanders will run in 2020. I don't think he's planning to. I don't think under the DNC rules really he can. They're terrified he'll try, though. They don't want him. They know he's unelectable. Trust me, the Democratic Party has a very, very poor grasp of strategy in many ways. One of the things they do know, and they are 100% correct, is that a geriatric socialist is not going to become the next president of the United States. But if he became the winner of the primaries in a weak field where no one else can compete with someone who shoots out of the gate with a quarter or a third of all the fucking voters in a crowded field, yes, absolutely. Because there won't be any Hillary Clinton. He could force them into a corner, I'll tell you how. Let's say Bernie gets into the race, starts out again with a quarter or a third of the votes. None of these other candidates, Gillibrand, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, fucking Cortez decides, any Avenatti, Cory Booker, none of them, even Joe Biden would start out behind him. He would be the front runner on day one. That terrifies them because the only way to stop him in a field that's guaranteed to be packed by people who are like a bunch of bloodlusting sharks thinking that Trump will be easy to knock off, all they have to do is outlast all the other weak-ass Democrats, what will end up happening is they will have to drag Hillary Clinton out of her crypt. Or somebody like her. They'll have to run Joe Biden. I think they're reluctant to do that. I don't think they like his odds either. Feinstein apparently does, but she was too dumb to realize her driver was a Chinese spy for 20 years, so excuse me if I don't care. They're terrified of him. They're also terrified of the possibility of an independent run, but what scares them most is, let's say he doesn't run at all. maybe he even dies, there'll be a protest vote for him. But maybe not among some of those young voters if they think that he's sexist, or that he condones sexual assault, or that he's a Me Too sort of figure now. No, then there won't be a protest vote for him. Now, would they? They'll just buckle down and vote for whoever the Democrat is. There's some hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of voters. It's a lot of people in some of these critical states. Bernie was quite popular in places like Missouri, in places like Iowa. He was more popular in parts of the Rust Belt. Democrats understand this. They don't want him raining on their parade. They're fucking terrified of him, so they're trying to preemptively attack him. This isn't coming from the right wing. It's not coming. This isn't Breitbart reporting on it gleefully. No, this is coming from Huffington Post saying, well, in 2020, his response just won't do with these sex scandals. You know, coming out and saying, well, yeah, it's regrettable and it shouldn't have been happening. What's he supposed to do? Take a time machine back to 2016 and fire the people responsible? You don't hold any of these other Democrats to account, and I seem to recall these same people defending Al Franken and saying he shouldn't step down. And then dogpiling, by the way, none other than Gillibrand herself, who had endorsed for New York Attorney General a dude who was chronically, allegedly beating his girlfriends on 3 or 4 different occasions. It's completely insane the way that the Democrats are going to get a pass on this from a lot of partisans too. Look, all you have to do is look who benefits from this story. It's the neoliberals. The right wing doesn't benefit from beating up on a geriatric dude who's not, he's not going to get any more popular than he already is. He might not even be alive in 2020. The dude, what is he, like 76 years old or something? The neoliberals benefit, though, by throwing him under the bus, say, well, we take a stand against sexism, and we take a stand for wonderful, glorious, patriotic principles of the American way, which is the exact opposite of actual reality. That's about all. Peace out.